Claire's phone screen lit up as she finished another tax return at 11 p.m., the blue glow almost painful against her tired eyes. She glanced over, expecting a reminder from her roommate Jess to finally come to bed. But it was a message from her mother's group chat instead. Sunday dinner. Big news from Liam. Claire, bring the tuition payment forms we discussed. So proud of my baby boy. Claire dropped her pen and leaned back in her chair, staring at the stack of instant coffee cups that towered beside her laptop. For the past 4 years, she had worked 2 jobs to pay for her brother Liam's medical school. Every bill, every fee, every small emergency. She sighed and rubbed her temples, willing herself not to cry. The numbers on her screen blurred together as she blinked away exhaustion. Another late night spent helping everyone but herself. You coming to bed soon? Jess's voice floated down the hallway, soft and worried. Just one more return, Claire called back, knowing full well she'd probably say it again an hour later. Her phone buzzed once more. Another message from Liam. Sis, can't wait to share my news Sunday. By the way, my rent's due next week. Same account as always. Claire's hand hovered over the keyboard, torn between laughter and tears. For years of casual money requests. For years of just until I graduate morphing into just until residency. Her mind wandered back to the beginning, the night her parents sat her down in the living room, pride glowing on their faces but worry shadowing their words. We just can't afford it, her mother had said, twisting her hands in her lap. But Liam's so talented, Claire. He could be an incredible doctor. Her father had shifted uncomfortably in his chair. You've always been responsible, sweetheart. Always so good with money. Claire hadn't even waited for them to finish asking. She had agreed. Of course she would help. Wasn't that what good daughters were supposed to do? The memory left a bitter taste in her mouth now. Her phone rang again, breaking her thoughts. It was Jess, calling from her room down the hall. I can hear you thinking, Jess said when Claire answered. What's wrong? Family dinner Sunday. Mom wants the tuition paperwork again. Jess hesitated. You've already paid for med school. I know. And your promotion, the one you've been waiting for. I know, Jess, Claire said quietly. After hanging up, Claire opened her banking app and stared at the depressing numbers. Her savings barely scratched 5 figures. Her investment account was gutted after the last tuition payment. Her retirement fund, better not even look. Another ping from Mom. Don't forget the forms. Liam's excited to talk about his future plans. Future plans. The words sank heavily in her stomach. She opened her desk drawer and pulled out a thick folder labeled Liam Medical School. Inside, rows of neatly written payment records, rent checks, book receipts, insurance bills, her life, carefully sacrificed and recorded for someone else's dream. Jess appeared in the doorway, arms crossed, a look of concern on her face. You know what your problem is? She asked. My inability to say no? Claire guessed. No, Jess said firmly. Your inability to see how much you're worth. Jess walked over, closed Claire's laptop with a soft thud and said, Bed. Now, you'll need sleep for whatever Sunday throws at you. Claire nodded, too tired to argue, but as she brushed her teeth and got ready for bed, her mother's text flashed again in her mind. Bring the forms. Like she was nothing more than the family's personal banker, an ATM with a heartbeat. The next morning, still drained, Claire barely made it through her 9 to 5 at the investment firm. Just after lunch, her supervisor, Rachel, stopped by her desk. Claire, that analysis you did for the Morgan account? Brilliant work, Rachel said, smiling warmly. Have you thought about the senior position we discussed? Claire's heart thudded painfully. I'm still considering it, she said, even though they both knew what the answer would probably be. Not now. Not yet. Maybe next time. Her phone buzzed again. Another reminder about Sunday dinner. As Claire watched Rachel walk away, something shifted deep inside her. Maybe it was the exhaustion piling up from too many late nights. Maybe it was realizing she had turned down 3 promotions in 4 years. Or maybe, finally, it was just time. She picked up her phone and opened the message from Liam. His excitement leapt from the screen, but Claire felt nothing but emptiness. She typed back, "Yes, I'll bring the forms on Sunday," but for the first time, she wasn't sure what she was agreeing to. Jess's words echoed in her mind, louder now. "You don't see how much you're worth." Sunday came too quickly. Claire's heart pounded as she stepped through her parents' front door, a heavy folder tucked under her arm. The familiar smell of Mom's pot roast filled the house. The good china was laid out on the dining table, always a sign that tonight was about Liam. "There's my responsible girl." Mom cried, rushing forward to hug Claire, then immediately reaching for the folder. "Let's get the boring paperwork out of the way before dinner." Claire tightened her grip. "Maybe we should eat first." Liam came bounding down the stairs, a gleaming designer watch flashing on his wrist, a graduation gift to himself, charged to Claire's credit card last month. "Wait till you hear my news, sis," he beamed. Dad emerged from his study, tucking away his newspaper. "There's my 2 successful children," he said warmly, but his proud smile was clearly for Liam. They gathered at the table, where the best tablecloth and Mom's favorite red wine were laid out. Claire recognized the wine. It was her favorite, usually saved for moments when Mom wanted something. As everyone settled in, Liam couldn't wait. "I've decided on my specialty track," he announced proudly. "Oh, honey, tell them." Mom gushed. "Neurosurgery," Liam declared, his chest puffing up. "It's super competitive, but Dr. Phillips says I have real potential." "That's ambitious," Claire said carefully, calculating in her head how many extra years of training that would mean. "It's perfect for him." Mom chimed in. Liam nodded, helping himself to an oversized slice of roast beef. "But the thing is," he continued between bites, "it's going to be intense. Like, no time for side gigs or part-time work." The table went quiet except for the clink of Liam's silverware. Claire braced herself. "Actually," Liam said, leaning closer, "I'll need to focus completely on my studies. No distractions. You understand, right, Claire?" She set down her fork. "Understand what exactly?" "Well," Liam said sheepishly, "you've been amazing handling, the practical stuff. And since you're settled in your career." "Settled?" Claire repeated, the word tasting bitter. "You know what he means." Mom jumped in. "You're stable, established, and it's not like you have a family to support." Claire felt something inside her snap. Good with money, stable, available. She wasn't a person to them. She was a resource. "Good with money," Claire said slowly. "You mean good at giving it away." "Now, Claire," Dad warned, his voice heavy with the old command. "Don't rock the boat." Liam leaned across the table, his voice soft and pleading. "I've been looking at apartments near the hospital. There's this one place that's perfect, but a little pricey. Super close to the hospital, though. Makes sense for my schedule, right?" "Have you looked at the numbers?" Claire asked, her voice surprisingly steady. "That's what the forms are for," Liam said eagerly. Mom reached for the folder again. "We can work it all out tonight, sweetheart." Claire pulled the folder closer to her chest. Her heart was racing, but her decision was firm. "These aren't approval forms," she said quietly. "What do you mean?" Liam's smile faltered for the first time all evening. Claire opened the folder and spread the documents across Mom's pristine tablecloth. Bank statements, receipts, transfer records, for years of sacrifice in black and white. "This," Claire said, "is every dollar I've paid, every tuition bill, every rent check, every insurance payment." "Claire, please," Dad started, but Claire cut him off. $432,000, she said clearly, not including the car, rent, or credit cards. The room went deathly still. "But that's what family does," Liam said weakly. "We support each other." Claire gave a hollow laugh. When's the last time anyone asked about my dreams? Did you know, Claire continued, her voice shaking now with anger, that I was offered a promotion last week? That's wonderful, dear, Mom said brightly. But right now, we need to focus on Liam's future. Like always, Claire snapped. She stood, gathering the papers back into the folder. I'm done. Liam's chair scraped loudly against the floor. Done? What do you mean, done? I mean no more payments. No more support. No more putting my life on hold for yours. You can't do this. Mom's voice rose. He's your brother. Exactly, Claire said, walking toward the door. He's an adult now. He can figure it out. At the doorway, Claire turned back one last time. Oh, and Liam, she said calmly, enjoy your last free dinner. Hope it was worth it. Claire, don't you dare walk out that door. Mom cried. What will people think? Claire paused, hand on the doorknob. They'll think, she said steadily, that I finally realized I'm not an ATM. I'm a person. The drive home was a blur. Her phone exploded with missed calls, Mom, Dad, Liam, all frantic, all demanding she come back. But Claire just turned off her phone, set it on the passenger seat, and kept driving toward a future that, for once, would belong to her. When Claire got back to her apartment, Jess was waiting with 2 wine glasses already filled. One look at Claire's face, and Jess simply handed her a glass. That bad, huh? Jess said. Actually, Claire said, sinking into the couch, a strange lightness in her chest. It's exactly what needed to happen. Her phone buzzed again. It was a message from Rachel at work. Still interested in that Boston promotion? For the first time in years, Claire smiled as she typed back, yes, absolutely yes. No hesitation, no guilt, just her own life, finally beginning. The next morning, Claire woke up with a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. She brewed herself a proper cup of coffee, no instant, no rush, and sat down at her desk. Her laptop blinked with notifications. 37 missed calls, mostly from family. Ignoring them, she opened her email and found a follow-up message from Rachel. The Boston team is excited. We can fast-track your relocation package if you're ready. Claire smiled a real, full smile. She typed back, ready to start the next chapter. Her phone buzzed again, but she silenced it. This time, her future came first. At lunch, Jess met her at their favorite cafe, sliding into the booth with a huge grin. You did it, Jess said, lifting her coffee in a toast. I did it, Claire echoed, clinking her mug against Jess's. They laughed, and for once, Claire wasn't laughing through exhaustion or bitterness. She was free, but midway through their meal, Jess frowned at her phone. Claire, you might want to check social media. Claire pulled out her phone. Liam's latest post was already making the rounds. A dramatic black and white photo of him in scrubs captioned, "Sometimes family hurts you the most. Healing and boundaries are hard, but necessary." Claire set her phone down and rolled her eyes. Of course, he's playing the victim. Jess leaned over. It's not just him. Your mom's posting too. Claire scrolled and saw her mother's message. Please pray for my sweet boy. Betrayed by those who should have supported him. Her coffee suddenly tasted bitter. $20 says she wrote that from the house I helped refinance, Claire muttered. Jess shook her head. They still don't get it. They probably never will. Claire thought for a moment. Maybe that's okay. I'm not responsible for fixing their version of reality. Her phone pinged again, this time from Rachel. HR needs your new address for the Boston office. Claire smiled. She had more important things to focus on now. Back at work, Rachel pulled Claire aside. About Boston, she began. We're offering you the senior director position instead of manager. Higher salary, full relocation package. Claire's jaw dropped. I accept, she said immediately. Rachel smiled. No second-guessing this time? Nope, Claire said, standing taller. No more second-guessing. As she packed up her desk later that afternoon, her phone buzzed again, this time a call from the dean's office at Liam's medical school. Claire answered calmly, "Miss Wade, I'm afraid your brother's enrollment is now under financial review. He submitted some questionable documents." Claire closed her eyes briefly, not out of guilt, but sadness. "I'm not responsible for his finances," she said firmly. That evening, Claire and Jess opened a bottle of cheap champagne to celebrate. "To your new life." Jess toasted. Claire laughed, feeling the bubbles rush to her head. "My old life was paying for Liam's dreams. My new life? It's finally about me." Jess grinned. "You know he's going to keep trying to guilt you, right?" "Let him try," Claire said. Sure enough, Liam's texts kept coming. "You're ruining my life. I have exams next week. Please don't abandon me." Claire muted his number. She didn't need to explain herself anymore. When Jess asked if she felt guilty, Claire shook her head. "I feel like I can finally breathe," she said. "Please don't forget to subscribe as you enjoy the story." The next day, Claire received an email from the dean's office. It detailed the findings of their investigation. Liam had submitted forged financial documents for his residency applications. Another email popped up, this time from the hospital Liam had applied to in London. "We regret to inform you that Liam Wade's application has been withdrawn pending investigation into financial misrepresentation." Jess peeked over Claire's shoulder. "Wow," she said. Claire nodded. "It's not what I wanted for him," Claire said softly, "but it's what he needs to face." Jess raised her coffee cup. "To consequences." Claire clinked her cup against Jess's. "To freedom." That Saturday morning, there was a heavy knock on Claire's apartment door. Jess poked her head out of her room. "Want me to call security?" "No," Claire said, walking over. She already knew who it was. She opened the door to find her mother, father, and Liam standing there, looking exhausted and desperate. "Princess," her dad began, "please, we need to fix this as a family." Claire stepped aside to let them in, but her expression stayed calm, almost detached. Liam immediately lunged forward. "You ruined my future," he shouted. "No," Claire said quietly, crossing her arms. "You did that yourself." Her mother burst into tears. "Do you know what the neighbors are saying? The church committee is asking us questions." Claire didn't flinch. "Funny," she said. "You weren't worried about reputations when I was working 2 jobs to pay his tuition. You don't understand." Liam cried. Claire grabbed a folder off the coffee table and dropped it in front of him. Inside were copies of every transaction, every receipt, every credit card statement showing what she had paid for. "You think I'm selfish?" Claire said, "This is 4 years of my life. My promotions, my vacations, my therapy, my dreams, all sacrificed for you." They said nothing. There was nothing left to say. Claire stood tall, feeling a strength she hadn't known she possessed. "I'm moving to Boston next week," she announced. "Senior director position, 6-figure salary, benefits." Her father's face crumpled. Her mother gasped. Liam turned pale. "You can't just abandon us," her mother sobbed. Claire's voice stayed steady. "I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm choosing myself for the first time in my life." Jess appeared from the hallway, arms folded. "You go, Claire," she said fiercely. Claire smiled at her, a real free smile. "Goodbye," she said to her family. "And good luck. You're going to need it." The next morning, Claire loaded the last of her boxes into her car. As she pulled out of the driveway, she didn't look back. Boston's skyline glittered ahead in the distance, full of promise. Her phone buzzed with a final text from Liam. "I hope you're happy." Claire laughed softly. "I am," she whispered. When she arrived at her new apartment later that day, she set up her desk by the window and placed a small plaque on it. "Self-worth isn't selfish." As she unpacked, her heart felt light for the first time in years. Claire wasn't just free, she was finally living. And she was never going back. Moral lesson. When you value yourself enough to set firm boundaries, you not only protect your future, you reclaim your freedom. Self-respect is not selfish.